This video is made for baby fashion brands to learn how to communicate their sustainability efforts effectively. Because most brands invest into certifications, ISO certifications, ISO 1400, but most parents don't know what they are, so they don't relate to it. So in this video, I'm going to explain what you should communicate, why you should communicate it, and on what platforms. Driving ROI, building brand loyalty through tangible, relatable, sustainable actions is what we're going to be talking in this video. According to several studies, for example, the McKinsey study shows that parents and millennials are increasingly and more choosing companies that are according to their values. Consumers today prioritize responsible companies. According to a McKinsey study, it shows that parents, millennials, and consumers in general prioritize companies that reflect their values. However, while customers deeply care about sustainability because it's in their values, they don't read reports and they don't understand complex certifications. So these companies are building and creating these huge CSR reports with immense effort from the CSR reporters of aligning with regulations and all of this stuff, which parents don't even read, and doesn't bring you closer to the objective of being seen as a responsible company, because that you wanted, because you want that because you can increase your prices, you can increase the brand loyalty and average order value in general. So it's something that is really, really interesting for businesses today, especially in a crowded market like baby fashion. You will stand out. So why don't they read reports? We're putting all this effort in, but they don't read reports because they are boring, long, and no one has the time to read a 150-page report. What a surprise. So how do you engage your audience? How do you drive ROI and brand loyalty? Here is how. I'm going to tell you exactly how. By making your sustainability tangible, relatable, and clear. I'm going to give you a few examples. While exploring the diverse strategies for communicating your sustainability effectively, we will be referring to tree planting for clarity's sake. But it's absolutely crucial to tailor your messaging and your strategy to your audience, because not all audiences care equally about trees. Your job is absolutely important because it is to figure out what matters to your clients, and that you can do through asking them directly. It can be through asking ChatGPT what are the values of my ICPs, but I'll touch on that a bit later. First of all, let's look at the steps that will help you turn your sustainability efforts into ROI. Step number 1. This is incredibly important. I cannot stress this point enough. So let me tell you. Identify what resonates with your target audience. The NYU Stern Effective Guide for Communicating Your Sustainability Efforts emphasizes that consumers most engage with something that is close to their life. What this study tries to explain is that consumers engage with companies that do actions that directly affect their personal life, that they can relate to, that is not too distant, like CSR reports, certifications, like, okay, ISO certification sounds good, but what the fuck is it? You know what I mean? Where on the other story, it's one tree planted for every product sold. That's something that's understandable. I know that this action does that. So keep in mind, it must be personal, clearly relatable, and affects their personal life. So let's step into all of those 3 steps. The 3 steps for making this happen that you always need to keep in mind. Always, please. Let's dive into all of those 3 points so that you are sure you understand them. Number 1, start close to home. Consumers are driven to sustainability efforts that directly impacts their life. For example, for baby fashion, one tree planted for every product sold is something consumers understand. It's tangible. I know that this action does this. And depending on your industry, if you're not in baby fashion, you look at what your consumers care about, what their values are regarding maybe the environment. It can be taking out plastic, from the oceans, cleaning the streets, maybe giving more energy. So it's all of these. You ask what their values are, you talk to them, and you figure out what they care about. And then you give a portion of each sale to that action that they care about, so they feel that they're, one, making a better world by purchasing, so they feel better, and number two, they relate to that action because it's close to their home. Number two, use everyday language. This must be simple language. It's instead of saying abstract words like we are going carbon neutral, you say this product plants this tree and reduces X amount of carbon, creates this amount of jobs. You choose in between one of them, if not it's going to be a way too long messaging, and that's something they understand. My favorite messaging, and this is really for parents that buy baby clothes, they absolutely love it because they see it as an investment into their child's future. Be prepared. It is each product plants a tree for a greener future for your child. Parents see this as an investment into their child's future, and they will buy more, increase the quantities and brand loyalty to you because they relate to it. And please remember that your audience are not CSR experts. They don't know what certifications are. They don't know what reports really mean. They don't have the time for that. To summarize these two, and the third point is basically the summary of these 2 points, is that consumers are more likely to take action when they clearly see how their purchase makes an impact. It's not about supporting abstract concepts like ISO certifications, fair trade, even though incredibly valuable. It's about understanding how each purchase directly achieves something tangible. Here are a few tools to identify what resonates with your target audience. As promised, here it is. Because before crafting any message, before investing in tree planting, plastic removal, renewable energy, you must figure out what resonates with your ICP, with your audience. Because if you invest into this big thing, but they don't care about it, it's not good for you, for your business. Probably you have an existing base of clients. Maybe you have their email, maybe even their phone number. That's really good. So take the time. You can use tools like Google Forms, put a few questions about what they value. You can ask ChatGPT of creating a Google Form questions that would give you the answers you are looking for. So you can ask him, create me a Google Form questions that will give me the answers to what my audience truly values in, for example, these 3 categories: renewable energy, plastic removal from the ocean, maybe fighting poverty or tree planting. These are the 3 things that is actually tangible, that we found is tangible in the consumer's mind. If you have some following on Instagram, Facebook, maybe TikTok, do some stories, ask them what do you value, ask them the ChatGPT questions, and they will respond to you directly. Maybe you can offer something in exchange, like some kind of reduction of 10%, I don't know, or an extra hoodie, or an extra, not a hoodie, that's maybe a bit expensive, but the extra hat or something. It's always good to give something back in exchange, but I'm pretty sure that they would be happy to give you some information, some feedback for free. These are a few questions you could ask, just to, put the things in your mind. What matters most when you buy from a brand? A, health. B, sustainability. C, supporting local communities. Now, you tailor these to what you believe is what resonates the most with them, and then you post it in Instagram as questions they can respond, on TikTok, etc. And my absolute favorite, I think this is the most efficient regarding time and money, is you ask ChatGPT what your ICP's values are. You explain who you are, what kind of business you are, so a baby fashion probably. You can explain some stuff about this video. You ask him, and that you're trying to figure out an action that is tangible in the point of view of your customers. He will give you a list, and you can implement those lists. Figure out if this works. Tree planting? Yeah, it works well. Plastic removal? Yes, it works, but not as good at tree planting, etc. You figure out by trying. And what's good, by the way, with most of these actions, if it's one product equals one action that is sustainable, it's a paid on results. If you don't sell any products, these actions don't cost you anything. So this is really something interesting. And you're actually viewed as a responsible company. So keep watching for more information. By the way, I linked down in the description the full guide that I am currently telling you. So if you have anything you need to come back, oh, what was he saying, but you don't want to look into this video, you just go into that guide, scroll down, it's pretty well organized, so you can directly find it. There is also the exact prompt I would use to figure out the questions, to ask the good questions to ChatGPT to get what your audience values most. So you can just copy, paste it, and use it. Again, please keep in mind, I cannot emphasize this enough, I'm going to repeat it again, you need to do actions that they understand for each purchase, that is relatable to them. That's why this is incredibly important, to figure out what resonates with your audience. Because if you do something like fair trade, this company, this purchase supports a responsible company, you're not going to get the results a responsible company would get. So it would cost you more to not do these surveys or put that extra effort to calling them and figuring out what matters to them than the actual, it costs you more to not do these actions than to do them. Even though certifications, reports may inspire them and say, wow, this is a good company, it will not drive increases in AOV, average order value, or brand loyalty. But instead, by framing your message, as already said, around an immediate action they contribute to, that will increase AOV, average order value, because it's impactful, meaningful. Step number 2. This is incredibly important. Please keep in mind this one. If you fail this one, the rest doesn't matter. What you just did before, it doesn't matter. People don't read reports because they're full of jargon that I don't understand, and that most parents don't understand. These complex words. I am not a CSR expert. I do not know what these words mean, so my brain switches off and goes to the next task in my day, which the consequences for you is that you are not perceived as a responsible company. If your message is not simple in a third grade level, your customers, your audience will flick off and go on the next action of their day. Remember, they are not marketers, they are not CSR experts. They're busy, distracted individuals that look for simple messaging that doesn't need a lot of requirement of thinking. So here are the 4 steps on how to simplify your message for maximum ROI. Number 1, use third grade level language. And you ask ChatGPT, is this a third grade level text, or can you make it more simple? And he will reply to you. You can use other tools like Hemingway, a great tool for explaining this words would be more 6th grade level, this 3rd grade, this 5th grade level. So it's absolutely really incredible. I would recommend using it. We're not affiliated to any of these products. This is just how we do it, how you can do it, and it doesn't cost a lot. So tools like ChatGPT, Hemingway, or Grammarly can help you simplify your messaging. So imagine someone reading, we adhere to the ISO 1401 standard. Who are they? I don't know what they are. Okay, whatever. I'm ordering pizza because I don't care what these guys are saying. Okay, oh, I have to go and get Timmy at the school. Standard what? ISO? Okay. Instead of that, something that would be 3rd grade level understood is we plant a tree for every product sold. This product bought plants 1 tree. So number 2, it's focus on one key idea. Absolutely incredibly important. So the idea here is that you have to stick to a memorable message. I understand that you have the urge to say that tree planting creates local jobs in communities, that it can also plant fruit trees that creates food for the local communities. It creates economical growth. Absolutely right. It has these other steps. It creates ecosystem regeneration where birds and other plants can live in symbiosis. It's magnificent what the consequences of these are. But if it becomes too long, people will not relate to it. So keep to one action that directly impacts their life. In the example of baby fashion, this tree planted for this hoodie bought will increase the quality of the air for the future of your child. That's simple. It doesn't say that this will create local jobs, even though it does. It doesn't say it will create ecosystems for my birds. It says this is something that affects your life. Point number 3, avoid jargon. Use words your audience knows. Instead of saying carbon sequestration, say cleaning the air. Number 4, be visual. You know, people, some learn by reading, some learn by looking, some learn by hearing. So you need to respond to all of these different criteria of how someone understands something. So use visual impact as well. Using photos, icons on your website, a tree that grows once the purchase is made, photos of the tree that is being transported. Visual communication often explains complex subjects better than just text. Pro tip. Here is a bonus point from those 4 points. Imagine explaining your sustainability initiatives to a 3rd grade level kid. And actually you could try and do this. If they understand it, your audience will understand it too. Step number 3, utilize tangible communication tools. So this is where to post your messaging for that consumers don't only understand it, but that they trust it. Point number 1, show progress. On your website, you can put a little widget that says how many trees you are planting in real time. Example, 10,507 trees have been planted thanks to your support. And they can see it. It is tangible so they can trust it. Number 2, communicate milestones. Celebrate achievements. Send to your audience through email that we have planted 100,000 trees thanks to you. On your social medias, tell them this. Or even on your website, you can explain that your company has planted 100,000 trees. That is milestone. It communicates to them. And I'm going to go in another point, the importance of repeating the message. Step 3, in the confirmation of their purchase, say, congratulations, your tree has been planted here, and there are tools today that can directly track the trees they have been planted, give them a certificate, so they are happy as well. Oh, look, I have planted a tree. Great. Yes, absolutely. And they can track the tree. So I'll do another video on which tools you should use and which ones you shouldn't, because why, etc. But in the confirmation of their purchase, you should say that congratulations for your purchase and thank you for planting a tree with us, etc. The benefits for them. Number 4, repeat the message. Repeating builds trust. You will have the feeling that you are just putting the same posts out. But remember, people that are on social media, they don't just see your posts. They won't necessarily remember that you have already done a post saying that you have planted an achievement of 10,000 trees. They won't necessarily remember that. So you can keep going and post the same. It can be in different formats, but repeating that you plant trees for every product sold. By the way, as mentioned in the beginning, not necessarily tree planting, but the action that resonates the most with your audience. We are just using tree planting as sake of clarity. Number 5. Use the papillon effect. In a previous point, I just told you not to do this tree will be planted and will sequester CO2 and have the ability to create jobs in local communities, increasing, these long messages with all of the benefits that one tree planted has. I told you not to do that. Now I'm telling you to do that, but not exactly in one whole message. You cut the different parts and send it in different emails or even on social media that these trees have helped X community increase economic growth. It's just not putting all of the benefits in one message, because that's like, okay, Timmy at the school, I'm going to get him. Yeah, I don't care about the rest. It's cutting the message and putting it in different posts, emails, even on your website. So this is a key action. I cannot emphasize it more, that you have to repeat your message to them. Repeat, repeat, repeat. They didn't necessarily understand it, and the time you are bored, we always saying the same thing, is probably because you need to do a new post like this. Repetition ensures that consumers understand and associate you to this. Creating a brand is taking X action, for example, or X people, and associating it to you. But this association takes time. For example, Nike, they associate themselves to athletics, sport, health, and they associate it to the swoosh. Now, when you see the swoosh, you think about, okay, someone doing sports, someone running, someone swimming, someone jumping. And the key here to building a responsible brand image is association as well, associating yourself to the tree planting. But this takes time. You have to repeat the message. We plant trees. This baby fashion brand plants the trees. This baby fashion brand plants trees. It takes time. You have to repeat it. You're going to get bored out of your mind, but it drives increased AOV, brand loyalty, and people will speak about you. So it's worth it. Okay, now here are the next steps for you to make this actionable. Number 1, use the tools and tips in this guide that will be shared and linked down below to assess your quality of sustainability communication and your sustainable action. Number 2, implement one step at a time, one problem at a time, testing what works best for your audience. In the guide, at the end, you can find, so just scroll down, at the end, you will see next steps, and you can find the NYU best practices for tangible, actionable, sustainable communication, and you can directly just look at it and get even more information out of that guide after this video. And sustainability isn't just a selling point, it's a responsibility for our future, for your future. By communicating your sustainable actions effectively, you are not only growing your business, you are also inspiring a sustainable future. Leading by example, people will see these people are doing it, we have to do it too. And you are creating a tsunami of people that want to do sustainable business. Let's make a better world together. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for watching. Take care.